What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. I know it's been a while. Thanks for sticking with us. But I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor for episode 299, Tell Me Something Studios. If you've been sitting on an idea and you want to take that next step but don't know how, go to Instagram and DM Tell Me Something Studios. They do all sorts of multimedia projects and they can help you take your idea to the next level. Great, bro. Shout out to Jacob at Tell Me Something Studios. Thank you for sponsoring today's episode. I can guarantee you, if you're looking to elevate, if you're like have a podcast you want to be produced or some multimedia project, this is the man. He's helped us out here at Snake Pit Studios, on my podcast, at Lords of Film. Great, bro. Great business. Hit him up. Thank you for sponsoring the episode. Also, the numbers are going up, guys. So if you want to get on board and sponsor a few episodes, let's work something out, and you can promote your podcast, your local business, whatever it is. Let's hit me up. We'll make a deal. Today, our guest is Chad Plunket. He oversees long-term planning and development as well as day-to-day operations at CASP, but he does a lot more. He's a cool dude. He teaches. He's a sculptor, all of that. He's in the arts. Great conversation, great bro. If you're interested in kind of what Luca and CASP and all of that, and First Friday, it's a great conversation. We talk about all of it. Shout out to the bro. And if you would, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's a free and easy way to support us over here at Snake Pit Studios. You can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of that, Google, wherever you listen, audio or video. I do apologize, actually, for the quality of the video. We had a few technical difficulties, but conversation was great nonetheless. So if you want to subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/snakepitstudios, so I can start making some money, so I can buy some new cameras, that would be great. As well, another reason to subscribe is I have a new series called In the Pit. It's dropping this Friday, the 31st. Our first guest is Miss PP, so check it out. Support us. Shout out to everybody. Thank you, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. Also, rest in peace, Nacho. He was in this video. But thank you for being here. Chad?
Yeah.
What's your last name, brother?
It's Plunket.
Plunket.
The only thing that's weird is that it's one T.
Plunket.
And so most Plunkets are two T's. I don't know why we dropped a T. It was not my decision.
All right. Well, born and raised, where you from? Here?
That's where we...
Let's go way back, man. I want to get to know you a little bit.
Listen, I'll try to go fast. My mother's from Tennessee. My dad's from Alabama. They got married and moved to New Zealand. And they had my sister, and then they had me. So I was born in Dunedin, New Zealand in 1978 at Queen Mary's Hospital next to the Cadbury's chocolate factory, which is why I'm so sweet.
Well, I'll be damned. How long did you spend over there?
We left when I was baby and then moved back when I was 4 and then left when I was 8. So I started school there. I tell people my little league was playing cricket. So I'm not very good anymore, but I grew up playing cricket.
Well, I'll be damned. You say that's growing here, cricket.
As a sport?
Yeah, like on the national level, I guess.
America's trying. They're not that great yet.
I wasn't aware that is like a 3-day long, sometimes
5 days.
5 days fucking thing. God damn.
Well, and you can go 5 days and end in a draw, which is, only the English invent a sport where you go play for 5 days and end in a draw.
Holy shit.
And take tea breaks, which is just odd. Yeah.
That'd be pretty gnarly to go to, one of those games.
I went to a couple when I was a kid. I watched New Zealand play Pakistan at the Oval in Dunedin there. Yeah. I got to watch Sir Richard Hadley bowl. So you can look him up. He was the greatest fast bowler in New Zealand history. Yeah.
I'll have to get into it and get back with you on that one.
It's as random as it gets, but yeah.
It's pretty fucking random. You lived in New Zealand, you're from there. That's crazy.
We moved around. Dad was a preacher, and so just kind of followed the Lord, I guess you would say.
Okay.
Lived in England for a while, and then I did live in Tennessee and Alabama. So my family's all in Tennessee and Alabama still. So I'm kind of this weird little Texas outpost out here.
Which one of those places would you say had the biggest imprint in who you are?
Well, one set of grandparents were in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and one set of grandparents were on the river in Alabama, on the Tennessee River. And so as a kid growing up, their backyard, when you would run down the hill, all of a sudden you were wet because you were in 6 Mile Creek. And so I loved that as a kid. When I go back now, my dad has a little boat and we fly fish for brim and catch some brim, gut them, fry them,
Outdoors, man.
eat them.
Well, I'm going to table this. We're going to get into the Alabama and the spooky things because I need to get to know you a little bit more. I'm going to get onto that one later. But yeah, so you're pretty much Alabama, like a Southern boy, would you say? What do they call New Zealanders? Is that just what they are? Is there Aborigines over there?
No, the Aborigines are Australia.
Only.
The native islanders of New Zealand are Maoris.
Okay.
But they typically refer to a New Zealander as a Kiwi.
How cute. I'm so sorry. That's so cute.
God. So that's right. Okay.
So kiwi fruit, I don't know the years, it became a huge boom. And so kiwi farmers became like millionaires overnight over there. Obviously, I'm not a kiwi farmer. But yeah, that was kind of a big thing.
I've never had one, and I probably never will. It doesn't sound, I don't know. I don't even know the last time I had a piece of fruit, if we're being honest. But
I'm not your doctor, but I think you should have some fruit. Whether or not it's kiwi fruit or not is not really my business.
Kiwi. You like that, don't you?
What do you think, Roy?
Well, I meant to look at Bradley. You like that?
I've never had one. I can barely
It's
eat.
good.
I can barely
It's
eat
sweet.
fruit.
It's not as tart as it seems, but I think it's really good.
I can barely eat fruit. Really, the only thing I can eat is apples. I'm allergic to
Oh,
everything.
I should have brought kiwi fruit. I didn't know. I should have brought a charcuterie tray.
I would've
That's my
tried
bad.
Next time, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, now, okay, the Maori, how do you say it?
Maori.
They do the haka dance, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's okay. I got you now.
Yeah. Our school song when I was in elementary school there was in Maori. I cannot sing it now. I will not
damn.
sing it for you. My sister probably could. She's really the language expert of the two of us. But yeah, I don't know it anymore. Sorry.
So you're spending time, you come back to America, where are you at? Alabama, Tennessee, that area?
So it goes New Zealand, Alabama, New Zealand, Tennessee, England, and then Lubbock. So it took me a few years of living in Lubbock that I had lived more in the United States than I had lived outside of the United States. And then I went to Texas Tech, moved away, went to Clemson, moved back, and then I just sort of tell people I'm happily stuck. So I got 2 sons. I'm here. But
Do you teach at Tech?
I teach one class in the College of Architecture. It's a design build class. So our students literally design something and then we weld it and put it together. And a lot of architecture students, this is not unique to them. They're really great on their computers and their mouses and drawing all those little lines, but they never really get to build anything. So sometimes it's like, well, what does that line really mean when it touches that other line? Like, are you welding that? Are you bolting that? Are you gluing that? Like, what is it? And so our class literally goes, well, we're going to put this thing together. So you might have a model that's 16 inches high, but 16 inches equals 1 foot. So we're about to build a 16-foot sculpture. So let's go. We've got a piece. I mean, it's close to going to fabrication. And so they've been designing all semester. It was always going to be a 2-semester project. So that's currently what I'm working on. I've taught in the School of Art. I taught drawing 1, drawing 2, design 1, design 2. Yeah, it's kind of fun to teach and kind of give back and say, hey, I know how to do this. Let me show you how to do it.
So how do you get involved with Luca and the CASP and all of this, which is where we met you, or we officially met you last week, I think. I've seen you
at
around.
at the metal show.
At the metal show.
That's where I belong. How did all that happen? So Charles Adams is the founder of the Charles Adams Studio Project, and he had a gallery for 50-something years, and he also did custom framing. So he always needed that guy in the back room building the frames. So for about 2.5 years, I built the frames. And during that time, there was funding from Margaret Talkington, and we got the seed money for CASP to become CASP. And I was just a part of those conversations of, hey, what do artists need? Hey, we have money, we have a building, what can we do to help? And so kind of CASP was born from that, and it's evolved slowly and continues to want to grow, and that's part of my job now. But our basic mission is to provide studio space for working artists. We're not a museum. We don't collect art. We really want people there making and doing and being artists. And so it's kind of a lot of fun, really.
And when you were framing and starting out, what year are we talking?
I started in 2009, and then CASP really came online about 2010. And then I became an employee of CASP 2011-ish.
And at this point, Charles, you had said 50 years he's been doing that? So he's...
Yeah, so Charles was born and raised Lubbock, 1942, had a gallery in New York City in the 1970s. It was called A Clean and Well-Lit Space, specialized in contemporary printmakers. He moved back to Lubbock in 1980 because his mother got sick. So he came back to Lubbock to take care of her. And then he opened his first gallery on Broadway in 82. So he went from Broadway, then went to Kingsgate, and then at some point decided, hey, the Underwood Center is taking place. Let me see if I can move my gallery downtown. So kind of moved from South Lubbock to downtown, and then also had a bigger vision besides his gallery, but of if I want to live and work down here, would other artists want to live and work down here? And so the first things that we brought online were the Live Work Studios. Then we got 5 & J, which was the former Lubbock Police Garage. And then we built the Work Studios back behind, which is where we hung out the other night.
Okay.
So those were the last things that have been built. And as well as the charcuterie tray, I should bring the model. There is a model for the next buildings that we want to build.
I was about to ask you about that.
Yeah, so the next things we want to do are more live work studios. So artists being able to live there, work there, do their thing.
So when somebody's applying for these, what are things you're looking for exactly?
There's 3 things. So we try to have the simplest application process possible. The first question we ask is, why do you want to be here? Like, what is it you do? Why do you want, like, why? You know? The second thing is, how are you going to engage the public? You know, like, these are not spaces that you get and then you just hide. These are spaces where once a month, First Friday Art Trail happens. And so people are coming through. So if you're an introvert and you just want to hang out in your garage, don't come here because people are going to roll through your space. And so, yeah, why do you want to be here? How are you going to help the public? And then thirdly, and it's less selfish than it sounds, but what can you do for CASP? So, you know, how are you going to engage with kind of what is already going on here? And I always tell people when they're applying, there is no wrong or right answer. You just need to be who you are and then tell the truth. You know, I mean, if you're going to say, hey, I want to do classes, and then you get a space, well, hey, do the classes, make those things happen. And
You want a lot of engagement, basically.
we want people there working, making their stuff. I mean, we didn't raise money and build these buildings for people to go, yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. Like they're meant to be utilized. They're meant to create conversations, you know, grow a community.
They're studios. I mean, they're supposed to be active spaces for whatever it is you want to do. And I will say I'm not the sole decider of who gets those spaces. We have an exhibitions committee. We take applications, and then it says we all get together. We could say, hey, we have Studio Z is open. We don't have a Studio Z, by the way. That's why it's a great example. And we go, hey, these 5 people applied. We only have 1 spot, though. And typically what is sad is that we have more qualified applicants than we really have space for people to be. And so we really are trying to go, man, what do we do? And it's not apples to apples. I mean, it is apples to oranges. It's sculptors, musicians, painters, poets. And so you're trying to decide, well, what is this? What are we trying to do with this? I wish it was easier.
That seems like a good problem to have, though. You know what I mean? Like an overflow of artists to choose from versus not enough, you know? But that still sucks for them.
Lubbock has a lot of talent.
Oh, yeah.
And it does. And we want to be the place where people want to be. And yet we also know that we can't be that for everybody. Mm-hmm. And so some of our spaces have time limits on them. Our live works are a 1 year, a maximum 2 year lease. And then our work studios, that is a revolving 1 year. But we do review it every 1 year and make sure, like, hey, are you still doing what you said you were going to do? Mm-hmm. Because if someone's in there not really using it, there's someone else itching for a space. Mm-hmm. And so we want that person that's itching for a space.
It shocks me how unaware people are of the things going on, like at the CASP and the Luga. Why do you think that is? Like,
that probably sits solely on my shoulders as a terrible marketer, and I apologize completely. I'm not great at social media and this, that, and the other. We will do better. I say that. I don't want to lie to y'all. I will do the best I can. Mm-hmm. I think there's also, since we are a college town, you know, by the time someone finds us, then all of a sudden they're graduating. And so you just have to keep educating the public as to, hey, this is going on and it is cool. You get a high school junior and then they graduate and then they go off to a different college and you're just like, okay, bye. You know, glad we were friends for a while. So yeah, some of it is just natural turnover and some of it is probably that I should just be better at marketing. And I really do apologize for not being great.
In my years of going to First Friday, it's grown a lot from what I've seen. So I think y'all doing all right.
We have the good problem of a lot of people. And so, you know, we have to figure out crowd control. Health and human safety is always first and foremost. You know, when you invite all your friends to a party, you want everyone to go home safe. and so First Fridays are a big thing. So there's a lot of, I also will say that CASP is a cog in that machine. And that's Luca and all the other venues, Rock, Paper, Shears, Broadway Contemporary, the Buddy Holly Center. Buddy Holly Hall is doing some stuff across the road from us now.
Oh, really?
Two Docs, of course, has their stuff and all their venues. And so, yeah, we're a cog in the machine. And, I mean, we have a good time. I was at CAST tonight, though, working on some sculptures. It was quiet. It was peaceful. And I was doing my thing, which on First Fridays you don't get to do because there's so many people just on top of you, which is also kind of nice.
Does that kind of fluctuate, too, with the tech crowd, you think?
It does, but I do find that in the summer when, like, the tech kids are gone, the general public is freer. Okay. And so your high school kids and your families that have been so busy with school activities are all of a sudden going, hey, what should we do? It's June. And then they go, oh, First Friday Art Trail. And then they come down. We've also had people that are doing Route 66, which is, you know, Chicago to LA, the classic road. And Lubbock is not on Route 66. Amarillo is, but we'll have people that Google what to do in West Texas and they're in Amarillo and then they'll just drop down to Lubbock, hang out for a First Friday. So periodically an RV will pull up.
Oh, shit.
And we'll just be like, And I don't know, I'm kind of used to it now, and I'm just like, are y'all doing Route 66? All right, come on. Let's hang out for a minute.
That'd be a fun little trip.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a little trip, but it'd be fun as hell.
It's a long trip, but I mean, it's kind of an Americana thing that people take on.
Have you been to all 50 states?
No.
No. You've been everywhere else.
I've been to a few. I think I counted the other day, and I've been to 20-something. But I'm not done the Pacific Northwest. I'm not done that.
It's pretty up there. Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I was just interested in having you on and talking about the CASP because we've been working with them a lot. How do you feel about those live shows? You like the music? Well, I don't know if you like metal, but you think those are pretty good for what's going on over there? Just the live music in general. Oh, God.
You can be transparent.
Yeah, be honest, man.
Music is fascinating to me in that it is so specific to kind of how you grew up and da-da-da. And maybe you had this girlfriend or that boyfriend and they were into so-and-so and like all the things. I did not grow up as a metal person. I do find it fascinating. And so I do not go to all the metal shows, but periodically I do like to show up and just be like, hey, what's going on? I typically stand at the back, but there is something about the thump, thump, thump that you're just like, okay, yep, I see why people like this.
Yeah.
But there are times I'm just kind of like, why are you yelling at me? Like, I feel like I'm in trouble. And so there is something that is probably not really who I am. But I love that it's there.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
That's my thing, is that I do love that it's there. So I support it 100%.
We should have threw you in the crowd. You should have, been...
Well, so I did a mosh pit at Bash's one time when Gate Creepers was playing. Do y'all know
Shout out
Gate
to them.
Creepers?
Shout out Izzy.
Okay. So Israel's like a buddy of mine, and I go to see the show, and I did the mosh pit thing as best I could. I didn't really know all the rules, and then I was on the edge, just kind of watching. But someone came by and hit me in the jaw, and it was not intentional. Like, I mean, I know my jaw still hurts. And so I'm kind of like,
You just felt it.
I may just be too old for this. Like, I don't know. But it was also fun to see your buddy, who's like the most soft-spoken dude you've ever talked to, kind, generous human. And then he's up there and just looks like a
It's pretty wild, huh?
freaking guitar powerful god. And you're like,
he is a guitar god. He totally is.
Crazy,
Yeah.
He's just the chillest dude ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one person that deserves to take over the world right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, well.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
But it was also funny because I bought the T-shirt. and so most people don't know me
And
as
it's
that
probably
person.
some like dungeon, whatever.
Oh, it's like a skull and like another alien is coming out of the skull.
Fucking awesome.
And so when I wear it, people are like, Chad, don't you just normally listen to sad country? And I'm just like, yeah, but the Gate Creepers.
Yeah. It's technically supporting local.
Do you like Charlie Crockett?
Yes.
Oh, I love him.
Is that okay? Okay.
Oh, no, we love him over here. She don't like him, but we love him.
I do like him. You guys just overplay him. You overplay him. Play the same damn songs.
So that's what you listen to, sad country?
Probably for the most part. I don't really know when that started. My parents were singer-songwriter, James Taylor kind of people. My first band, which I don't know if this has to be public, when I was in college in the 90s was the Dave Matthews Band. And so I heard them about 5 times live and danced, as a 20-year-old. So that was really my first group. And then it kind of evolves and changes, comes and goes.
Always changing, huh?
Jason Isbell.
Love him.
Heard him a few times at the Red Rocks and heard him at Buddy Holly Hall when he came through. So Buddy Holly Hall's been awesome bringing in some of those shows that are kind of the bigger names.
Do you know Amanda Shires?
Yep.
Yeah. It's crazy that he's married to someone from Lubbock.
I knew Amanda when she was in Thrift Store Cowboys.
I've heard about that.
That was, and she did some solo stuff here in Lubbock, did her thing. But I think they're breaking up though. So sorry. That's
What's it called? I saw her do a show at Tech. They do, is it Lubbock?
Oh, Lubbock Lights.
Lubbock Lights. She did one with Jimmy Dale Gilmore and Lloyd Maines, which is Natalie Maines' dad.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool to see those three on stage.
Yeah. No, she's talented. She's fun. I have her autograph on a Dirk Fowler poster.
It's crazy. I felt
store.
you would think that she'd be praised more here, but you don't. Because I mean, she's had a great last couple years too, and she did an interview on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how come they don't talk about her? And I remember I posted a story, and I was like, how come Lubbock's not talking about her? And then she viewed it, and I was like, I bet you that made her feel good, and saying that Lubbock's not talking about her.
Bradley's over here like, yeah, I made her day. She was sitting in her mansion. She saw me shout her out.
Not even. I think my most proud moment was, story-wise, is Leon Bridges shared my story. That was it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I made Leon's day.
Because you know the band, Krugman. Have you ever heard them? They're from Houston. Well, I shared his story, and I said, this is the most important Texas collaboration since Waylon and Willie, and then he shared it. So, nice. Not to brag.
I'm not always sure, like, places that embrace people that are from there, and sort of maybe how Lubbock even understands itself at times. We have such a huge college population, but a lot of our college students really aren't local. And so you're kind of like, hey, there's cool stuff happening locally, but then they just stay on campus. And so they're just listening to, your sort of regular radio. They're, who's really coming out. And I mean, a band like Thrift Store Cowboys, which started here and is doing awesome. Well, college kids today, they didn't grow up with them because they were kids in Houston at the time. Yeah. So they don't really know, hey, that's our local band, and these guys are awesome. Amanda Shires is awesome. Thrift Store was awesome. Lots of stuff has come through here, but I don't know, being a local hero maybe at times is difficult. You got to go off to the bigger markets and then where you came from, does it remember you?
And it's usually the ones that come from other places that come here, like Pat Green. He was from San Antonio, came here. Corey Morrow, William Clark Green. I don't know if he's from here.
I don't know where he's from.
But anywho, I mean, there's Josh Abbott too. There's a lot of great people that have come out through here. Flatland Calvary.
Yeah, Josh Abbott.
Yeah, Flatland Calvary. So, oh yeah.
As Bradley says, all roads lead to Lubbock. And the more and more I do this shit, the more I fucking think that's true. It is weird. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of people have said since there's nothing to do here, then we do have creative people because you do have to make your own fun, whatever that is, whether that's making your own metal show, making sculpture, making music, because otherwise, what are you going to do?
Drugs. No, I don't know. Sorry about that.
Movie screenings.
Podcast. Go to tech game every now and then.
Yeah.
So I don't mean this to sound ignorant because I think we're like 30 minutes into our interview, but it hasn't been asked. So I've been wanting to ask you. Technically, what kind of artist are you? Or like what mediums are what's your job besides, like running the CASP and everything? Like I know, like you said, you're a teacher, but like, what is your profession? You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm asking that terribly. I should have asked that like 30 minutes ago.
No, I'll try to answer.
Okay.
Sculpture.
Sculpture is your thing?
So I do a lot of metal fabrication. So I love to weld, build things, steel, although the price fluctuates due to the markets. For the size of stuff I build, the price per strength is just amazing. So really? Build sculptures, big, small. I only build big if I have a commission. And so like I know there's a paycheck at the end of the day. It's hard for me to invest a few $1,000s on just an idea. I do have a show coming up at the Louise Hopkins Underwood Center in February, and that is all wood carved sculptures. And so I whittle little pieces of wood, and then I have about 100 plus of those that'll be in the show. And then I say, hey, that one's cool. What if I made it this big? Hey, that one's cool. What if I made it that big? And so I think there'll be 20 something larger pieces and about 100 of the whittles. And that's coming up in February. But I am one of those people. I go to shout out to West Wind's Brass Band. They play in June at Wagner Park. And they, play their horns, play their brass band. And so I always get there early, set up my little camping chair. I walk around Wagner Park. I find a stick. And then I just whittle with my little pocket knife. This podcast is, I'm not going to bring out my phone and show you sculptures because no one's going to be able to see it. But
Well, you can if you want.
come to Luca in February and you'll get to see the show. And so that's the latest stuff I've been working on. I also just like to teach. So I teach people how to weld. At CASP, we just finished a class, build your own branding iron. So you made your little kind of logo or your brand, and then learned how to chop, grind, bend, and then weld it together. So there were 5 students in that class. And then the last class period, we heated them up and singed them in a piece of wood. Yeah.
Whoa. Can we do that?
Yeah.
And I want to get branded.
That's
brand
all
this.
you.
Can we make that into a brand?
Why can't you just singe that into a piece of wood and call it a day?
Because I've been watching Yellowstone a lot. So
Long story short,
Jackass.
yes, you can do that.
can you help me make it? I'll do the other part.
I will help you build the brand. I want nothing to do with you putting it in your flesh.
You don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
You're watching too much Jackass over there.
I was watching Yellowstone, man. My bad. That's pretty fun, though. Damn.
I've done
So-
some bad paintings in my life. I'll tell you that. I'm not very good at drawing. A lot of people get into art because they are told at some point in their life they can draw. I'm not very good at drawing. I can doodle with the best of them.
Damn, I wish I could draw. That's so cool.
I got a friend, Ryder Richards, and that boy can draw like an angel. And you're just like, what are you doing? And all of a sudden you're like, that is 3-dimensional form on a 2-dimensional surface. Congratulations.
I've always found this is always hard to ask, and I don't even know if you're going to be able to answer it. But where does it come from to create a piece of art for you? Is it just some random inspiration, like you're saying, the wood on the ground? Is it just, oh, that was cool, I want to try to create that? Like, how does it? Do you think it comes from somewhere else, almost?
I can try to answer it for me. I won't answer it for other
I
people.
want to hear it from you. Yeah.
I'm trying to be, I think, with this last body of work, this wood stuff, like I have done no research in wood carving for this show. On my Instagram feed, when it shows me somebody like carving in wood, I exit. I go, I don't want to see what you're doing. Like, I don't care what you're doing. There's probably 1,000 people doing better wood carved sculptures than I am, and I don't care. Like, I want to make what I want to make. I go to that little chunk of wood with my little pocket knife, and I start shaping it because I want it. I want it to be me. I want it to be my voice that's taking place. And I'm pretty sure when the show opens in February, about 10 people are going to come up to me and go, hey, have you seen so-and-so? They're doing this, but better. And I'll just be like, congratulations to them. Like, I still don't care. And so I think I'm at a point where I want to make things that I want to make. And that's at times I think harder than you think it is because we are so image saturated. Mm-hmm. We've seen so much. And so really kind of being yourself maybe is hard.
Do you find a lot of artists struggle with that? Making art for themselves and not. I'm just thinking of this Rick Rubin quote I just heard the other day.
I think it's difficult. I mean, it's also why musicians get sued because their riff is the same riff as the other person. And you're kind of like, hey, there's only so many chords. Like, what do you want us to do? Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, I also can go, hey, yeah, it's a piece of wood. Like, a lot of people have carved into wood. I can't.
For thousands of years.
Yeah. So, but it doesn't mean that like my experience and my moment in it isn't unique to me and what I'm attempting to make happen. I know that when I've taught drawing or sculpture at different times, I mean, I try to create assignments for students so that there are things that you can grade, like very objective things, but also have freedom built into it so that there is those moments of creativity where I go, I need you to go ABC. I'm going to grade ABC. But X and Y, that's up to you. Like, go have fun, like do what needs to happen in that thing. So I don't know if you can necessarily teach creativity. I know you can discourage it. And so I don't want to, I don't want to discourage it. I want to do things to encourage it. And so maybe in my artistic practice, like by me limiting my exposure to certain things, I'm trying to encourage myself to say, hey, Chad Plunket, what do you want to do today?
How often does like moments of creativity come to you?
Not as often as I would like.
Do you think it's because you're busy? You seem like a very busy man. You know,
I'm busy. I mean, I have a full-time job. I teach, which is a part-time job, and then I have 2 great sons. And so we try to do cool stuff together. And so my moments of, hey, I have freedom, like it's 8 a.m. and the weather's nice, like let's get out of bed and do our thing till we have to go to work. There's a physicality to the work I'm doing right now. And so I can only carve, my right arm is only so strong, so I can only carve for so long. And then I go, okay, take a break, drink some tea, get back at it, carve some more. And that's okay too.
art's just so fascinating to me. Artists, I love talking to them because I try to ask questions and I can never even think to ask it the right way. So I'm going to ask you this. What is art? Let me ask you that one.
One of my favorite definitions, and this is, so I did not write this. I believe this is from the 1930s. It said, art is anything that celebrates the life of a community. And I like that definition because it's open as to what it can be. And I also like it because it doesn't say that we have to like all of it. I really like art in that it is an ongoing dialogue. It's an ongoing conversation. And we also get to have opinions on it. Y'all can come to the show in February and hate it and say, hey, Chad, you were real cool on the podcast. We think your work stinks. And I'll go, okay, let's talk about it. Like, that's great. My best friend is Jonathan Whitfield, and we've shared a studio for years. We don't share a studio anymore, but he would be working on something. I'd be working on something. And we had a rule, like we wouldn't tell each other what we thought unless someone asked. So I could work, and sometimes I could see him and I knew he wanted to tell me something, and I'd be like, nope, I got to do this. And sometimes I'd just be like, I am so stuck, John. And then he would talk. And then sometimes the same thing. Like I'd look at his thing and I'd be like, man, if he would just turn that sideways, he'd have that. And then he would be like, oh, Chad, this piece is, I was like, turn it sideways. Be like, you're a genius. And that's cool. I also like this one, and this one's a little bit cheesy, so bear with me. Art in the beginning is a conversation between an artist and a material, whatever that is. So Chad Plunket and wood, Amanda Shires and a fiddle, Dirk Fowler and a printing press. But then what happens is you take that object, whatever it is, or music or sound or dance or performance, and then you put it into the public. And now it's a conversation between the object and the public. And so now this thing that you once controlled, you no longer have control over. The general public gets to decide. The general public gets to say, I like that. I don't like that. I'm going to pay you money for that. Or you made me really mad. I'm going to tear that off the wall and shred it in pieces. Or like we've seen multiple examples of musicians' music being pulled off the shelves and rolled over with a steamroller in parking lots. That happened to the Dixie Chicks, that in Lubbock, Texas. That's happened to books where we burn books, which is insane. We also have artists whose work has been destroyed. And then we have artists who are celebrated, lifted up, and are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. and I don't really like their stuff, but I also don't destroy it.
What do you feel about like political art in where you guys work? Is there even any discussion, or you just let the artists do what they want to do?
Say this the best. There's art, there's political art, and then there's politics, right? And so CASP as a nonprofit, which is granted to us through our application as a 501c3 through the IRS, we are not allowed to make politics. Okay, so we're not allowed to do that. We're allowed to make political art, so our artists are allowed to do that, but we're not allowed to just be straight up politicians. And so you have to read some of the Internal Revenue Service code stuff if you really want to get into all of that, and maybe that's for another day. It's pretty dry. But I always encourage our artists to make art. And if there's political content in it, that's fine. You can make political content all day long. There can be repercussions to making political art, and so everybody needs to, some sense of wisdom when you do that. But you're not allowed to make straight up politics. One of the examples I give is I go to Austin every 2 years when they're debating the budget. So our state legislature, we're on a 2-year budget cycle, and I go down there for what's called Arts Advocacy Day. And I go to our local voted representatives and senators, and I say, hey, I want you to give more money to the TCA, which is the Texas Commission on the Arts. So, we all pay our taxes. There's a pot of money. And I say, I want y'all to support the arts. And so I go into their offices. I say, I'm Chad Plunket. I'm the director of CASP. And that's me being political. And I'm allowed to do that with my job with CASP. I do that. Now, I'm not allowed to go to Austin and say, hey, I'm Chad Plunket, the director of CASP. I want you to vote this way on this other issue. So I can advocate for the arts. I'm not allowed to advocate for other things in my position, whatever that thing is. And so that's where, I don't know, churches, art nonprofits, medical nonprofits, you're really supposed to, quote unquote, stay in your lane, be who you are. And there are some gray zones, which are, I think, sometimes challenges for everybody. When someone really feels passionate about something, but doesn't really know the best way to express that thing. And it doesn't mean always that like CASP can be the place that happens. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Or
yeah,
maybe I made that worse. I don't know.
I just wanted to know. I get it now. So technically, you can't like hang a sign that says a certain candidate, or can you in your studio?
You cannot.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So political signs endorsing a specific person is not something that we're really allowed to do. The other thing that I also talk about with CAST, though, is it's not so much like what you're not allowed to do, but like, for example, people are coming to the First Friday Art Trail to see art. Mm-hmm. So let's show them art. Yeah. They're not there to be influenced with who and how they vote for this, that, or the other. And so we just want to say, hey, what's our mission? Well, our mission is to provide space for artists to make art. So, hey, everybody, make art. If there's a political component to your work, that's fine. But in terms of filling out surveys or, some of the solicitation kind of things, we're just like, we don't do that here. People are here for different reasons. So, let's focus on why people want to be here.
Oh, is that why like register to vote was located at a certain spot it was?
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense to me now.
Yeah.
I got you. Now, look, I got to ask, because we're here. There was some controversy in the summertime with everything. Can you kind of give me some, like, what happened exactly? Like, there was threatening to withdraw funds from you guys. Is this what was happening? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
We can't talk about it. I mean, I can cut this part out if we need to.
We can sort of talk about it. It's kind of a complicated can of worms at this point. Basically, there was some work that became politicized, and then some local politicians politicized it further. And then you had this side and this side kind of fighting and battling each other, and CASP was put in the middle. And we were kind of just like, we're really here just to make art and provide a safe space for people to be able to do that. And there was a moment where we didn't feel like we could provide that safe space, so we didn't allow something to take place. So then we got those people mad at us, and then the politicians said we did it, and they got mad at us. And so it was like, well, we just made everybody mad. So I think in some ways, it was a tough summer.
Did you guys end up getting that money or?
CASP did not lose money. The Underwood Center, Luca, is the one that lost some funding. So they had applied for some funding, didn't get it, and then it went up for revote, and so they got some of it back, but not all of it back, is what happened.
So how do we move on from that? Just continue to make art?
Make art.
Just make art. Don't worry about all the other stuff. That's crazy. I remember. I just wanted to hear it from you.
I just say make art.
Yeah.
I know during that time I sent a letter to all of our artist tenants, and in that letter I was just like, hey, excuse me, you know, a lot of opinions going on. Just keep making art, and whatever that is to you, just keep making art. And we keep doing that.
Yeah, man. Y'all are doing a great job over there. It's been fun hanging out, hanging around. I want to see you next time in the mosh pit. I know you said you wouldn't do it. Never mind.
Just
You're
don't
gonna
break my
punched in the
jaw.
face.
Yeah, we want to see you at Lords of Film.
Oh yeah, that one too.
Okay. I did buy.
I promise they're more calm. They're way calmer. They're chill. Bring a blanket and a warm drink.
I did the. I didn't see y'all at the sound bath. We had a sound bath.
What is that?
It was a yoga sound bath on Thursday.
This last Thursday.
Yeah, in 5 and J Gallery. She went. Wah, 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 wah. We were all laying there like in a. I went to outer space on Thursday. I don't know what y'all were up to.
Whoa.
Was this advertised?
Yeah. See, once again, I'm not great at social media.
Nope.
That's my bad.
Dave, you messed that one up, Dave.
It was there though. It was there. It is promised we're going to do more of them.
So
Okay.
so no substances. You went somewhere else.
Oh no, just straight sound.
That's cool.
Yeah, she had the bowls and they're all like set to different. I mean, I don't quite understand it, but like the noise went in one ear and then like came out the other and swirled back around. It was good.
Wow.
He called us out. See, we didn't go.
Well,
Who put that on? Do you know?
he's like, no, but I was there.
Now you're calling me out. Give me a second. I'll figure out.
I bet you Ozzy was there.
The one that did that, is it Elise? I don't know if you know who that is. Okay, I know who Elise is.
Okay.
Roy, let's go.
If it's not on a Thursday, I guess we can work around it. Never
Yeah,
mind.
we can.
Yeah, because they've done that.
What if I full on start tripping?
Because they've done that quite a bit, huh? Like
Yeah.
they do it every now and then.
They do it in Studio G, I think,
Okay.
regularly, and then they ask permission to do it in 5 and J, and we were just like, yeah, let's go. So I was there. My oldest son was there. My youngest son was sick. And yeah, Logan and I went to outer space.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I got to go get nachos, so let's take a break real quick.
I ain't gonna see guys.
Do you have any pets?
We have a spotted lizard, gecko-y
Oh, yeah.
type thing, Bowser Jr.
Nice.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's coming up 2 years.
What's his lifespan?
They can live a long time. I didn't know
That's
that.
awesome. Oh, what are you?
Well, the youngest boy, Sawyer, asked for one. I was like, okay, so, you get the tank and the thing. And then you're like, this will last 6 months. And then you're like, I am still feeding this thing. And then I looked it up, and they can live a long time. And I was like, son, you're taking this to college.
Oh shit, that long?
They can live a long time. If you really take care of him. And I'm not going to not take care of him.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to like starve it to death or anything. I'm not evil. But I'm just kind of just like, I didn't know this was such a long commitment.
Does it eat crickets?
We do mealworms.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
But yeah, you can do crickets. We do the mealworms. We do some dehydrated and then some live ones, which is kind of trippy because you feed it with like little tweezers. But they're like real blind, I guess. They can hardly see them, so you gotta like almost like put it right in front of them.
Probably see with their tongue, I think.
Girl, leave my ranch alone.
Oh my god.
I know it's a different animal, but I saw something that if you've ever seen the first Rocky, he has 2 turtles. Sylvester Stallone still owns the turtles as pets.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I
Those things
fed
live forever.
turtles for a guy one summer. He had a ton of turtles, like big tropical turtles. And then I forget, I had to move them from like one side of the thing to the other. And you can literally like hear their lungs breathe.
Nice. I love them.
It was trippy. He had them all in his basement, like a lot of them.
When I get real established in life, I'm gonna get me one. A tortoise. I'll really love those things. They live forever, like 100 years.
That's going to be like your Mike Tyson tiger move.
I might get a tiger. I don't know.
You're gonna go turtle.
No, my Mike Tyson move's a donkey and a monkey. Those are mine. One of these days. But I used to have 2 turtles. It's a sad story. They didn't. It's not hibernation. I can never think of the word. But what they do is they dig in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a fucking thick layer of leaves. So they missed the dirt. And then after the winter, we found them frozen. And I felt so bad. Those are my boys. But we got a new one. He's somewhere around here. His name's Eddie.
Okay.
He likes to escape and come back. But I love him.
I'm rooting for him.
He's a Playa Lake turtle.
No, he's not. He's a
That
tortoise.
just happens
No, he's a
to come
red ear.
around.
He's a red ear.
What's even the difference with a tortoise and a turtle?
Isn't it their markings and their sizing?
One of them lives in the water. The other one doesn't. Tortoises don't live in water. They can live in the desert type shit.
No.
Anyways, let's not make this boring about animals. But you don't like dogs or cats or any of that?
No,
Or you don't have any?
I'm a dog guy, but with my life, I just would not be a very good dog owner right now. I just have too much going on. So, no, I don't. The boys have like 3 dogs at their mother's house. So they get all the dog they need.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And I'm just like, we have a lizard.
Lizard.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool to have a big ass lizard? A big one, like one of those big
What is the
water
one-
monitors.
I think the biggest I'd go would be an iguana.
Those are pretty.
What Swag has?
A chameleon.
Yeah, okay.
Chameleon's
Oh,
pretty
he was
sick.
so sweet. I loved that one. His little hands.
She, because she laid eggs.
Oh.
I don't know what happened to the eggs, but she laid eggs.
It was trippy seeing like when a fly would go by and you see the tongue just. I don't know. It was trippy to see in person.
That's crazy.
She would get real pissed at you, and she would hiss and get dark, like brown. It was weird.
Yeah, with me, she was like.
Yeah,
bright
she didn't
green.
like me.
She was like chartreuse with me. She loved me.
Since you're out in the, outdoors, do you see a lot of horny toads?
I didn't see shit.
I feel like I don't see any at all anymore.
Supposedly they rebred them, but the fucking freeze killed them all.
Oh,
Like they
really?
released a bunch in the wild, and that freeze happened and just didn't work out.
You see a
Used to
lot
be
of
my
rattlesnakes?
Fuck no, I hope not. I don't ever want to see that shit. We're mainly in the city,
Yeah, that's true.
so it ain't no.
But hell,
that.
they're out there though.
I used to love horny toads. I would flip them over and I would just rub their belly. They were so soft.
Kill them.
There was a fox.
That does not kill them.
Before I was here, I was at 5 and J Gallery, and a fox just like walked by.
Those are pretty.
Yeah.
Probably lives with those cats.
Probably. And we were like, we're straight downtown.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Living on the railroad tracks or something. Hobo style.
You seen any other wild animals out there? Whatever happened to that black dog? If something sad happened to it, don't tell us. But you know what I'm talking about? There's a black dog. Okay, never mind.
No, I know the black dog. Where he was living, the hole he got into his house, the owner of that place, which was not us, blocked the hole, so he had to move on.
Oh.
And so I don't.
You don't know where he
He
went.
disappeared.
No, I don't know.
You know, I'm really surprised nobody ever adopted that dog.
He wouldn't be patted. He wouldn't.
Really?
Yeah. Like he'd get close, he'd let you feed him, like all the things, but if you ever really tried to grab me,
He was not
out.
having
He's
it.
like, nope,
Poor guy.
I'm a man of the streets.
There you go.
Me his foot.
Oh my god.
He ate my wallet.
Oh.
Did you give him a kick? I'm sorry. No.
No, I put my wallet and my cell phone down because I was having to take a measurement of something, and I go
He
back,
just got it.
gone. Had to get a new ID, all the
Oh,
things.
shit.
Somebody probably stole your identity. Somebody found it and they're now you.
No, it was a dog, and then like later I found like pieces of it
Oh,
around CASP and stuff, all bit up. Yeah, I think it was even.
Uh-oh.
Was it this phone? Maybe it was my previous phone. No, maybe it's this one. Like there's still a bite mark in this OtterBox.
I don't know how much you get into that, but does it ever get? Is there any ghost, spooky things going on at that studio? You said you were all alone, so
I've heard it's pretty spooky out there.
Y'all want to hear my spooky story?
yes.
Uh-huh.
Are you ready for this?
I love spooky stories.
Well, you're not gonna like this one.
Okay.
Okay, so when I was in college at Texas Tech, I was walking down this dark alley and I was scared. And I was like, I have walked down this dark alley forever. Like, why am I scared tonight? Like, I don't really like being scared when I'm just walking from this building to this building. And this is going to date me a little bit, so forgive me. The night before, I had watched Scream 2. And I was just like, I am scared because I watched that movie last night. I don't want to live like that. So I just don't really watch horror movies anymore. And so I can walk around CASP, in 5 and J, dark alleys. I don't see anything.
But you're like, you've never heard anything. You've never
Nope.
experienced anything that's like, huh, that's strange.
Nope.
Apparently, Two Dogs has ghost chickens. Have you heard of that?
I haven't. I haven't. And I don't need to know because I want to be able to walk around and not be scared.
So if you're walking around and you hear buck buck, like,
I can watch like aliens, watch all sorts of things, but like people doing harm
Yeah.
to other in a horrific way, I don't do it. So I may not be a Lord of Film guy. I'm sorry.
No. You'll be a Lord of Film guy in January because it's not a horror movie.
Okay.
It's giving, but not like,
Some people love that emotion, and I just am like, I don't.
we're showing Detroit Rock City.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
come
shit,
on,
there you
pull
go.
up, man.
Announcement right there.
Bleep it out.
it's like
Okay, I'll bleep it out. We'll see if she listens. You know, one of my biggest regrets, I don't know if you know about this. It was last year. Yeah, it was last year. We were chilling outside of Studio C and Dave Clayton. It was me, Dave Clayton, and
It was 2 years ago now.
that was 2 years ago. I apologize. And my dumbass was just I don't know what I was doing, but Dave was looking up. And I'm like, what? In my head, literally, I'm like, what is this idiot doing looking up? Fucking UFO flew over your place, man. I'm not even, like an orb. You know those? Have you seen the orbs?
I know he took a photo.
You seen it, right?
I've seen the photos.
I was such a bitch. I'm sorry that he tagged me in that. And he got all kinds of views. There's hundreds of thousands of interactions, and I untagged myself from that because I was like, I don't want to be on a list. True story. I did that, and I could have had a whole bunch of interactions and probably followers from that. But yeah, that happened. I was right next to when he was recording it, and I missed it. So I don't know, man.
And then what? Like a month later, we had one out here.
That's right. I've been into UFOs lately. I'm guessing you don't really get into that.
I'm sorry.
No. What do you like to do for fun? Like, what was you just doing art, whittling, getting punched in the face at metal shows?
No, I like live music shows.
Yeah.
So Monday nights, Blue Light is singer-songwriter night. I love people that like wrote the song last night and are standing up on stage figuring it out. I think that's awesome. So I dig that. I do some shows at Cook's Garage, travel to some shows periodically. I just got tickets for this summer to take the boys up to the Red Rocks
Nice.
and see a show up there. So I dig that. Also, little camping, hiking, fishing with my dad, things. I'm not a huge television person. I do watch some live sports. And yeah, I don't know, but maybe mainly like hanging out with people.
Yeah.
But a lot of my art crew are not kind of sport or even like let's go see a movie people. So, we're mainly hanging out, talking, doing our thing.
Who are your sports teams?
You're going to get me in trouble. So my dad grew up in Alabama. So the first team we ever supported was the University of Alabama. I have watched them through thick and thin. My childhood teams, though, were the New Zealand cricket team. So I still keep track with them. When we lived in England, on my 11th birthday, I went and saw Newcastle United play at St. James's Park. So they're my Premier League team that I keep up with. I did go to Texas Tech, and when I was a student, I went to all sorts of games. I still go to games now. I've got tickets for this weekend. But I did go to graduate school at Clemson in South Carolina, which is
what that is.
It's C for Chad, but yes.
I was going to ask if you were a Cubs fan, and then I was like, that's not the right C.
No, this is kind of a peripheral team, though. It's hard to keep track of them. I don't really have an NFL team. I kind of watch some college players and kind of root for people like that.
Yeah, I get like you're saying liking Alabama because of your history, but I don't understand people who like teams that aren't, they're not even from the place or whatever.
Well, we lived there.
Oh man, I get what you're saying, but I got some friends who are, shit like that just pisses me off. I don't know why.
Now
I'm talking to you, you idiot.
My papa was an LSU fan. He was an LSU man. And then my other grandfather was a University of Tennessee fan. And then I've got family that went to Mississippi State and Ole Miss and some other family that I've got some family in Knoxville, which is definitely Tennessee. The South has so much of that SEC stuff that it doesn't take much. But, we're family, so we all get along.
Have you gone to those games? Any of those SEC games? Those seem like freaking crazy.
I saw Alabama beat Tennessee there in Knoxville. I saw Alabama years ago when I was a child lose to the University of Memphis in the Liberty Bowl. I only saw a couple of games at Clemson at Death Valley when I was a student because I was poor and we had to buy our tickets. And I was just like, I'm poor and busy, so I only saw 2 games when I was a student there. But the tailgates were fun.
What is the term Clemsoning? Is that like just losing? Have you ever heard of that term?
Clemsoning was like whenever they got like good and hyped, then all of a sudden they would like blow an easy game.
Okay. Because I always heard that term. I didn't know what exactly that meant.
Yeah, that kind of built up, but then they won like 2 national championships.
Yeah. So you had a good decade with Alabama and Clemson, huh?
That was really kind of weird. And
who did you go for when it was Alabama and Clemson?
What I went for was a good game.
Yeah.
The way I said it was like, I want someone to win the game. I don't want someone to lose like on a bad play or a missed field goal. I want someone to step up and like win. No. And really for those games, there really was somebody that just all of a sudden like became the better team. But it was fun, but it was also kind of strange.
What part of South Carolina is Clemson? Like, what's that town? It's not Clemson, is it?
It is Clemson.
Okay, I didn't know if it was a different town.
It is in the Golden Triangle. So South Carolina is a triangle, and this part is on the coast. And then in the corner is Clemson. which is really close to like the foothills of the mountains. North Carolina's really close, about, I don't know, maybe 30, 45 minutes. You're in North Carolina. The apples in the fall were amazing.
Yeah.
I dug it when I was there.
Is there good barbecue over there?
Oh, who's got the best barbecue?
Not, well, I don't live there. Not Clemson. I'll tell you that. I did not enjoy their barbecue.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was very good. There's some good pork barbecue. So my family, when they were in Memphis, like the dry rub smoke ribs at Rendezvous and some different places, amazing. I probably do prefer the Texas barbecue though.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Let's go.
but I'm more of a brisket guy here. I don't think that. Oh boy, you guys are gonna get me in so much trouble. I don't always think that Texas barbecue does pork ribs very well. Like I'd rather do pork ribs out of Memphis and then have Texas be my brisket.
It's mainly beef over here.
Yeah.
You know?
But sometimes you'll go to a place and they'll have pork ribs and you're like, I'll try them. You're like, yeah, y'all don't know what you're doing. Like it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
We need names. Who are you talking about? I'm just kidding.
This is terrible. I knew this. I knew I should not have come here today.
Well, any publicity is good publicity, man.
I did take my oldest boy, to the West table the other day, though. And he ate his first oysters. And so I was like, we're going to order a half dozen Blue Point oysters. And I was like, you have to eat 2. Technically, you get to eat 3, but I'm going to make you eat 2 because the first one's going to be shocking. And the first one you eat plain, right? So you slurp that back, and he's like, that's shocking. I was like, yep. So now let's dress it up with some cocktail sauce, a little horseradish. He does that, and he's like, all right. And I was like, yep. And then he ate his third, and he did the vinegar. So then it's kind of like a mushy, oystery salt and vinegar chip. But he probably did a little bit too much vinegar, and that kind of had the whole pucker face. But
I know the feeling.
I don't know if you know this, but I do this live show at the CASP Studio C, and our very own Bradley couldn't eat an oyster the last time because we got some, and he almost threw
You
up.
couldn't even get near his face.
He almost threw up when he ate it.
you don't do them?
I was having the time of my life.
It was just the
They were good.
it was just the taste. I couldn't do it.
I feel like.
Oh yeah, didn't you spit it back up?
It like
Oh, I don't.
it hit
it's
the
gonna
back of
make-
my mouth and I coughed and went.
Yeah.
There's
I
a
think-
photo of me genuinely enjoying that moment.
They're good though.
I think a good oyster is like you're playing at the beach and a wave crashes on you and you come up and you're like what was that? And like your nose is filled with like salt water and stuff. Like that's a good oyster.
Yeah.
And I dig it. I like it. I also roll the dice out here in West Texas. I'm like, I love seafood. If I get sick, fine. But like I want this flavor, so I'm going for it.
We need a Papa Do's out here.
Hey, you ain't lying. What did you say you took him? West Table?
West Table?
I don't know if I've ever been there. Have you ever been to Clairboya?
Yeah.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
I like that place too.
There's a lot of hidden gems here in Lubbock, Texas. People don't know about.
Well, there's a lot of spots like also if you like kind of know how to order, like you get some good bang for your buck. You have a good time.
What was that Korean place we just went to not too long ago, right here by Monterey?
We're really going from West Table to Kokio fried chicken.
Have you had that?
I don't know if I've had that one.
Pretty good. I don't know. It made me think of it. I don't. It's way different than yeah, but it's pretty good. I'm just trying to think of other places to eat here. I keep it simple. Whataburger for me.
Well, I like a
I
Whataburger.
love
I'm not
Whataburger.
anti-Whataburger.
My favorite burger joint here, it's closed now. Every now and then I'll get like, a member and I'm like, oh, it's closed. Sam Burgers on 34th.
Oh yeah.
That was my favorite burger.
Where's your favorite place to eat?
Well, I have a lot. It's problematic.
Saturday morning. Where are you going?
Like for like breakfast brunch? Is that what you're talking about?
Sure.
Yeah.
One of my favorite breakfast burrito places is El Charo.
Okay.
which is what's that, like 50th and I-27. I like El Charro.
All right. So it's your birthday. We're going to birthday dinner. No, where's your favorite for that?
West Table's great. Nicolette is great.
What's that?
Nicolette is Broadway and like I-27. It's high end. I mean,
What kind of food?
interesting.
What would you order from there?
Well, sometimes I'll go there for happy hour and just get like the charcuterie tray,
Okay.
which is great. If I get a main, if they have fish on the menu, they do fish in ways that I can't imagine.
Okay.
And so I'm just like, yes. He also like aged some okra seeds one time and like served it on these little things. And I mean, it was amazing. You thought you were eating caviar and it was like an okra pod seed.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm down for that. Now lunch, Thai Kitchen, what's that? 22nd in Texas.
That's a good one. I like Thai Kitchen.
Love that spot. Green chili not green chili, green curry in the winter. Drunken noodle with shrimp in the summer. The beef salad's delicious.
What's your favorite pizza place?
I probably go to Giorgio's the most because it's so close. But a big fan of Capital Pizza, the Tech Terrace location, the Thai chicken basil, Greek salad.
I went to one guy the first time in a while. They basically put a cow in your calzone.
Yeah.
That's a lot of meat. Not bad for $10 for the lunch special, though. Get that and a drink.
I've never been to Giorgio's. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Giorgio's is great. Do they still have that like little lunch special? It's like a slice and a drink and like a little salad.
It's like two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and where'd you say?
One guy.
One guy.
I went to One Guy's in high school. Like I'm still a One Guy's guy, but the way the traffic works, Giorgio's is. I mean, I can walk there.
Yeah.
From CASP.
Oh, yeah.
It is that close, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll walk to the bank, like do a deposit, go there, then
tell
walk
people
back to
that.
work.
I don't want to tell people that.
Not that I'm carrying cash.
That
If you see
walk.
Chad on Avenue J, he probably has.
He's
cash.
probably making a bank run.
It's terrible.
Or Giorgio's. Either one.
God forbid
Who
he
are
likes
your
to just
listeners that I have to be worried about this?
You never know.
Exactly, I guess.
I get worried about that shit sometimes, man.
Don't assume the man just wants fresh air and sunshine. No.
Be careful. I have a pocket knife. It's only good for whittling, though.
No, man, before we get you out of here, I just want to know, like, what do you see Lubbock, in the next decade or two? Where do you see it going? Do you think we continue to kind of increase in all of it, everything?
Population is growing. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at any of the charts and our population is growing, which I think you typically want to be a part of a growing city, not a dying city. Dying cities have a lot more issues. I know I have some personal concerns how we keep growing south and some of our core is sort of being abandoned. So I am committed to, working downtown with CAS and making it as cool as it can be so that stays healthy. I do have 2 kids in Lubbock Independent School District, so I want our local schools to stay as strong as possible. But as people keep moving south, and that's where our growth is, LISD doesn't get some of those funds. So, therein lie some challenges that a lot of leaders need to come up with some better solutions. Texas Tech continues to grow, but kind of they've reached that 40,000 student goal. And so there are some limits as to what TTU main campus can be. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how they transition, let's call it healthy growth. What I would like to see, though, I mean, if we can go back to the arts real quick, is I just want to keep seeing more art and improving the quality of what's going on. And I mean, I'll be cheesy as anybody. Like I would love for CASP to be a part of the story of the next Buddy Holly. You know, the person that like grew up here, raised here, wrote songs, did something at CASP, and then came on, you know, to be something huge and great and an internationally known thing. And so like that would be awesome. So when we do kids activities and high school kids and this, and we work with this, or we give this college student a show, I'm kind of like, man, I hope that we're a step in your journey for you to be great. And so that's kind of a goal of mine.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Do you think downtown will be, well, you just like, is there any focus to make downtown like, I don't know, like improve it, make it more...
Aren't they building like a park?
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah,
There's a downtown park they're trying to raise money for to get that built, to energize it. If you go downtown, I mean, you will see some signs of like things coming soon. You'll see some things that have closed. You'll see some things for sale. You'll see a building that you're like, that's awesome. I wish I could buy that. But maybe someone's actually living in it. I mean, maybe it is being used, but you just can't tell. There is a push by the city to make, you know, to keep pushing downtown to be a cool place to be. But I mean, it's complicated. I mean, urban planning and all that stuff, it's complicated. But it doesn't mean there's not people working towards it. There is a downtown TIF, which is a tax increment fund. And so when businesses go there, I just got real boring on y'all, I'm sorry. But when businesses go there and then, you know, make cool stuff happen, well, then taxes increase in those areas. Well, those taxes then are sort of set aside to improve downtown. And so, like, that's kind of some awesome stuff that's taking place. I just think people need to go there and just walk around, though. I mean, go down there and get a cup of coffee at Nashwell Coffee. Go find Nicolette. Go find Brewery LBK. Go hang out one afternoon at Cotton Court. I mean, they have an area with a bar, restaurant, pool that you don't even have to stay at the hotel. You can go and hang out. Dirk's Chicken is down there. West Table is down there. Flippers is just across Q, but it's basically downtown.
Shout out to them.
Or come hang out at CASP. I mean, if you see me, I always tell people, like, say hi. And if I'm not busy, I'll be like, hey, come do this. And yeah, we'll go from there.
First Friday's next week, isn't it? Yeah, next Friday.
This week is Thanksgiving, so we're off whenever this thing publishes. And then, yeah, the next week is First Friday. The show at 5 and J it's our board. So CASP has a board. And so it's each board member has kind of submitted a piece. And so it's called CASP Board Collects. So it's showing the collection of what our CASP board members do. So sometimes people think that like boards are like, you know, people, they don't know who they are. And it's just like, no, like the CASP board are people that love art and they buy art. And so they're showing you some of the things that they've purchased and they've collected.
Nice. And we'll figure out when the next the yoga thing is.
The sound bath, come join me.
We need you to do some marketing.
Okay. Listen, it's fully clothed. You'll have a great time, but you will go to space. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so fun. We'll do that one. Yeah. And then your thing is in February?
February at Luca.
Is it on First Friday or is it going to be through the month?
First Friday. So it'll be up actually for 2 months. So February and March. So plenty of time to come check it out. I will try to do better social media marketing because there is a gallery talk where if you want to hear me talk about why I'm doing what I'm doing, you can listen. And then we are going to do a whittling workshop
that'd be fun.
in March.
Oh, cool.
And so there is a small fee to it, but proceeds go to some kids' educational programming. But I will show y'all how to make a little spiral with a pocket knife. And Mountain Hideaway is sponsoring that. So when you sign up, you get to take your pocket knife home with you. So it'll be a fun one. Yep.
I believe there's an art show at Studio C the 14th of December. I could be wrong. I think Dave was talking about that. I think Keys fashion show at the Ice House.
It's on the 13th, December 13th.
December 13th. And then, like they said, January. Blank is gonna be
January. We don't
premiering.
have the date yet, but Lords of Film is coming back for its third screening season.
Yeah.
And we're going to get a lot more interactive. We're going to have a lot more giveaways. And this is going to be bleeped, but we're showing Detroit Rock City. This is your hint. And we're going to be doing more cactus screenings. And this is also going to be bleeped, but Fools and Ghouls is coming back in February. I'll see you there.
Anything else, brother? Thank you for being here, by the way, man.
Thanks for
really
having me.
Appreciate it. Well, I would like to have you back on before you do your thing in February.
Y'all let me know.
Okay. Well,
I'll talk. Bring Johnny. Bring my boy John.
bring him.
He's a hoot. You'll have a good time.
We'll do that. But anything else?
I'm good.
Any social medias they can follow if you want?
The one you promote?
Yeah.
You can follow CASP, CASP _LBK. That's Instagram. And then Facebook is just Charles Adams Studio Project. My personal one, Chad Plunket. You're welcome to follow that one if you want to see.
Give it a follow.
If you want to see me and my boys jumping.
I want to see the lizard.
Jumping off of cliffs into water and, just being boys. But it's,
Well,
yeah.
Nice.
I think you can follow 806 Collective. They always repost you. So
Follow 806 for sure. They're great at reposting. We are not great at reposting. Sorry, 806.
Bradley, your camera died. You got anything?
Yeah, go to Keys fashion show because your boy is a model.
Jen, anything?
I already said all I had to say.
Patreon.com/Snake Pit Studios. Join it. Help support the Snake Pit. We'll see you guys next time. We'll definitely have this one out in a few weeks. So thank you, and we'll see y'all.